Ashish.
It is correct. First time. It's the charm. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I've known about Polyfund for a long time. I think you guys have been in this space. You were one of the first protocols that I think I found in the Polymarket ecosystem. So it's really cool to to have you on. How long have you guys been in the Polymarket ecosystem? When did you get into it?
So me personally, I think 18 months back, and great to be here as well. Thank you for hosting. So I started off as a market maker, then I made an open source bot, which did cross arbitrage market making between Drift and Polymarket. So that was like my initial entry into Polymarket. But I have been building Polyfund, I think, for 13 months now. So yeah, we were actually the first, one of the first winners of the Polymarket Builders program that they launched.
When was that? When was the first Polymarket Builders program?
I think it was 1 year ago exactly. This month is the anniversary month for
Interest.
us.
Oh, that's really interesting. Yeah, well, we got into the prediction market space, I think September. So that was like our earliest kind of getting into it. But yeah, I was always super interested in Polyfund because I think you guys are still like the only fund platform or the only people kind of working on this issue in the space right now. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like I could be wrong on that, but
I think there's a couple more good projects coming up, but I don't think they're fully out yet.
okay. Interesting. And so what is so we kind of skipped over it and you talked a little bit about it, but I'm curious, like what is your like you mentioned you were kind of like a trader, making markets. Were you doing anything before then? Like were like in terms of like software development or like when was like before prediction markets, what were you kind of active in?
So I have been a founder for over 10 years now. So the first startup, I've always been a builder. So I started with virtual reality and augmented reality stuff back in 2014, back when it gave you vertigo, right?
That's what I
So I
did.
was building
Yeah.
things then. And then in 2017, started an AI fitness company, which basically, you've played Just Dance.
Oh yeah, yeah. Just yeah. Well, was it VR by any chance or?
So it basically, I think it was on the Xbox where you just dance, it tracked your body movements. You had to follow the dance, then it gave you a score, like by Ubisoft. Super fun game.
Yeah, that's really cool. It's interesting that you were in virtual reality because that's what I was doing.
Oh,
Um,
so what were you
yeah,
building?
before I was what was I doing? I was working in like doing a lot of work in like Oculus, and I taught courses to people on how to like create VR games in Oculus. Using like Unity game engine. I don't even know where that industry is now. Like I feel like it kind of went away, but at the time, like 2020, it was huge, and there was a lot of hype around it.
It was supposed to be the AI before AI, I think VR, but it never really took off. I think that was the issue.
Yeah, yeah, it never took off. Zuckerberg named the company like Metaverse or something. Like it
Yeah,
never, like nothing ever happened.
yeah,
It
just
was,
some few $1 billion, I think, went into that, but I think they've pivoted now.
yeah, yeah. I think they did. Yeah, they pivoted to to AI, but it's interesting. I mean, that's an interesting background. I mean, and it's similar to mine, so I think it's pretty interesting. And did you get into crypto at all? Like, did you have a kind of foray into the crypto world, or did you just go right from VR into prediction markets?
So for that fitness company, AI fitness company, we were building it for I think 6 years, right? And we had gotten some good names on board. The founders of Fitness First, the founder of 25 Hour Fitness. So we got some good partners on board. And towards the tail end, we actually shifted towards a sweepstakes sort of a product where people would create a challenge and put in their money. So it would be, let's say, I'll do a workout every day for an hour at least, and then you put in money, and if you did not do the workout, you would lose money, right? So financial apps, back then was a little bit of an issue, so we pivoted towards crypto. So got into crypto dev, I think over the past 6 years ago, so 2020 or 2021. So we were building a crypto app back then. So the fitness company got acquired by this exchange, which was a crypto exchange. Then we joined that and have been full time in crypto since then.
That's interesting that an exchange acquired it too. That's something that was unexpected. Why did the exchange acquire the fitness brand? Like, what was the
Because we were
reasoning
building a
behind it?
gamified fitness product, right? And the exchange itself was trying to create a marketplace around game assets. So team sort of fit in well, and what we were trying to do with the whole gaming aspect, that fit in quite well.
Right. I remember back then there were like a lot of apps like Steppen. Do you remember
Oh
Steppen
yeah,
on?
the play to
Yeah,
earn. Oh my god, yeah, that was
yeah,
like absolutely massive before people realized it was going to blow up. I think they were one of the most successful apps by revenue. They made 300 or 400 billion dollars in pure profits. I think the company, that was like insane back then.
yeah. It's wild. Like Steppen is really like the company, and it was such a short run too. Like it wasn't even. It was like less than 6 months, I think.
Yeah,
And it was just selling digital sneakers. That's it. Digital sneakers, upgrading those sneakers. To be honest with you, it's a lot like the stuff going on right now with like Collector Crypt. I see it like Collector Crypt. I think is a better model, but I see some parallels there. But that's yeah, that's cool that you were in that space.
but remember
Um,
Vape to Earn? I think there was Wank to Earn or something like that as well. So basically, people just wanted to do anything X to earn, and but the whole economics did not work out, so nothing was sustainable ever.
yeah, it was Ponzinomics. I mean,
Yeah.
that's basically what it was. So how did you go? So like, what was the moment where you were like, okay, like prediction markets are it. Um, enough with this, the pure crypto stuff. Like this is definitely the next asset class. Or did you have that kind of moment?
So I have been in the sports betting space in college. So when I was in the UK for a few years, during my college days, I was quite familiar with the sports books and betting exchanges as well, Betfair and all the others. So I sort of could see the appeal in them. And with Polymarket, it was a no-brainer, right? I mean, no more sports books banning your account. And the way that I see it, it was a better asset class, similar to how options work, but a lot easier and a lot dumbed down for retail users to understand. Because options, even still for crypto options or TradFi options, they're extremely difficult for people to understand, right? The strike price, port call, all of that. With predictions, it's extremely simple. Is this event going to happen? Yes or no? So I could see it being a new industry, and a lot of infra was not ready for it.
Yeah, the difficulty with options. I mean, there's another complexity to options too, which is time decay, which a
Yeah.
lot of people get absolutely screwed on if they don't pay attention. Where it's just like, you buy the option and then over time it's just like losing value. And you're like, well, why is it losing value? Like I'm in the money technically. So
Yeah.
like so like the time decay thing throws people off. Yeah, I mean that was kind of like my takeaway too. I was just like for me it was just I think I got into prediction markets because I was like, you know what, like I'm looking for a crypto product that on I was looking at Polymarket, which was a crypto product. And I was like, it ties into the news really well, right? It ties into events really well. Every time there's a big kind of news media play, Polymarket is going to get liquidity from that, right? Every time, when there's a lot of hype around, like the Trump election, for instance, that's going to be a major liquidity event for Polymarket, which you didn't see with other kind of crypto asset classes, which are still kind of super dependent on Bitcoin going up or down. Kind of like as we're seeing right now. So that was one of the reasons why I was really interested in prediction markets.
And as you said, right, Polymarket did a great job because as part of the game exchange that I was building before, liquidity was the biggest issue. to solve, because market makers, we would reach out and they would be like, okay, what is your volume, and before we park any sort of capital, we need at least minimum guarantees that we would be able to earn this much. For this was for crypto markets, which are very liquid already. For prediction markets, nobody's gonna market make who the winner of the Oscars is going to be, right? So Polymarket, I think, did a very good job where tech was fine, but getting the market makers, the liquidity on board, simultaneously also attracting takers to come and fill it. I think that was the key differentiator, as you said.
Do you think so? So I guess we can kind of talk about Polyfund a little bit. In for people that might not know what Polyfund is, what is kind of like the baseline elevator pitch for Polyfund? Um, you know, it, just like the short and sweet of it, I suppose.
Uh, Let professional or pro managers manage your money and make you money in prediction markets.
Yeah, I mean that kind of gets the gist of it, I think. And you already have like a number of pretty high level traders, using these funds. Like, yeah, I think you have you mentioned Holy Moses is on there. Um, I think Meep I think is on there as well.
Yeah, he's just created his first fund as well. And I think we had Phantom Bets as well, who had created a while back, but hopefully he creates one soon. And we have Saul Mo as well. He made, I think, 22K from like $1,000 in deposits. So I think he's a good manager as well.
Yeah, so you already have like a couple of very high level managers on these funds. How do you get like how do you typically go about sourcing managers? Uh, yeah, well, you know what? It's kind of like a two-part thing. Like, is there an evaluation process for managers? And then how do you decide like who becomes a manager, and if they're a really good trader, how do you get those people on the platform? Kind of a
Uh,
complex question, but
Sure. So no, no worries.
yeah.
So firstly, so I'm as DeFi as it comes, right? I've been building in the DeFi space for over 6 years now. So everything is permissionless. Anybody can come in, anybody can create a fund, and if they are able to market it properly, get depositors to deposit funds, then that makes them a manager. So we, as a platform, do not get to decide who's a good manager, whether a manager should be allowed in or not. So trial and error just happens.
And how are you like like in terms of like the actual business of it, what do you find attracts like top traders to your platform to kind of manage these funds? Like what have you been able to do that is getting these if there's like three different things that you're doing, I guess, or what are the things that you're kind of doing to get these people to use this platform?
I think the most important thing is accessibility, right? So I think we built a very custom solution on top of Polymarket because there's a slight technical issue with building a solution like ours unless you give direct wallet access to the manager itself. So we've made it into like a contract approach where all the funds sit in a contract and the manager is only allowed to trade from those. They cannot deposit or withdraw. We, as the platform, do not have the keys to the contract as well. So this was one of our key differentiators where all the code is on chain, and unlike other platforms, right, where they manage the private keys, we do not do that. So that was one selling point as a unique value proposition. The second is just going inside these communities, right? So Poly Alpha is one. Um, Sorry, Poly Square is one as well. So just it's a very close, tight knit community in Polymarket, and the managers all talk to each other because they want to look for the good alpha and share it with each other. So that was our in.
And so there's like a number of different copy trading solutions, and I'm trying to understand this space a little more. And you guys aren't necessarily doing copy trading. If I were to kind of pinpoint what you're doing, it would be like vault based kind of access
Exactly. Yeah.
to high level traders. Why do you think there's all these copy trading bots like automated bots that kind of follow traders. What do you think the advantage of Polyfund is over those bots? And do you think those bots are kind of maybe heading towards a bearish trend? Do you think that they're not going to provide as good of a solution, in the future?
So as you rightly pointed out, my initial idea for starting this and the design concept was based around hyperliquid vaults, where of course they have millions in the vaults sitting. But what happens with copy trading is that these markets are not very liquid, right? So if you are copy trading something of, let's say, a famous trader, there is no incentive for the trader to give you a profit, essentially, right? So if I'm going to make a trade and there's like 100 copy traders who are going to buy the same trade that I did, it happens after I have made the judgment and the price is already moved, right? So if I'm a trader, then I just take the profit because I'm technically dumping on the people who are following me out of their own thing, right? There is no incentive for me, firstly. Secondly, the thing is, there is no strategy involved as to why that trade happened, what is the approximate size, or why should this bet come in to play. So it's just blindly copy trading. I don't think yields good results. So a more equitable solution would be towards something that makes managers the money and depositors the money, etc. So that's what I'm trying to do with this platform.
Right, because that's kind of how I understand it a little bit too. And I've seen things like this before. Okay, so I've seen one platform that comes to mind from the crypto world was this platform called DAOs.fun, which is not.
Yeah.
I don't think it's exactly the same as what you're doing. Uh, um, I was actually one of the first DAOs on DAOs.fun. I was McDonald's DAO. I was like part of the initial user. I was like one of the first four DAOs. And the problem that we always experienced was that you'd start a fund, but then no one would want to trade. A lot of people would just want to sit on the assets, including myself. So it's like the thing that I admire about you guys, what you're doing is that you actually do have trading volume on Polyfund. You get like, do you find that this is an issue though? Do you find that like, well, first of all, are you familiar with DAOs.fun? Do you remember that
I have,
platform?
yeah. That was not fun.
Oh,
I think Frentech was also trying something similar, right? Where you could sell sort of shares and stuff. But DAO's not
yeah,
fun, of course, was a lot more managed, I guess.
yeah, yeah,
Crypto's come a
yeah.
long
Well,
way. I mean, yeah, crypto, there's so many things that have happened in crypto.
exactly. Yeah, it has come away. It has come away from that. I
Yeah.
thought the platform was really cool, though. I just like people just would not trade. So I think that was one of the issues that I came across. Um, but I think the ticket, and I think what you guys are doing is you're getting like, you know, it's permissionless, so anyone can join, but you're getting like actual traders to hop on and kind of and work with Polyfund.
Yeah, I think that's our goal. And I just want to make all the data accessible as well. So everybody can see what the manager's return is. They can see the manager's polymarket profile. If they're happy, then they sort of invest or deposit. So that's the plan.
So can are we able to kind of take a look at the platform? Is that possible?
For
Because
sure. Just
yeah, because I know we talked a little bit about it. I tried to. Okay, let me add you quickly. Oh yeah, here we are.
perfect. So this is the overall platform, right? And again, anybody can create a fund. And once a fund is basically created, it goes into a capital raising phase. So this particular fund, right? So weekly income weather fund is a new contract that is deployed on chain. So and anybody who invests in the fund gets this token in exchange,
And
which
you
is
guys are
the
deployed on Polygon. I
we
didn't even know
yeah,
that.
we are deployed on Polygon. And these are all the different depositors who've deposited in the fund. So every fund has a capital raise stage. So this one I think had it for 3 days left, and then it runs for another 6 days. And after the trading is done, if there's any profit, it goes back. Oh, he's only charging 5%, which is quite on the lower side. So 5% of profit goes to the manager. The rest is distributed to the depositors itself.
Yeah, normally a fund manager's take would be like, if we're talking about like traditional hedge funds, it would be like, what would it be like, 10 to 15 or
220,
something like
yeah, 10, 50, or they would do 2% AUM and they would do 20% on the performance.
Yeah, and well, they also have so the way I see this is like this is a lot like the features that they have on like oh man, one of those platforms like Bybit or something, where they do have like vaults that you can invest in. Usually it's like a 20% take, so 5% is pretty good. If people are
Yeah,
saying
5% is
5%,
good. But most
yeah,
of the good performing managers, they charge up to 30%. So Moses is by far my favorite manager on the platform. So funny story, when I posted on Poly Square, I think it was about this is what we have launched. He was the first person to say scam, right? And then the Polymarket team stepped in. Tanner, truly grateful. He came in and said, "It's not a scam. It's a good product. You should launch it." So he has been with us for about 1 year now, and he has launched so many of these funds, and his performance has been crazy. You can see 80% returns. I think one time, the first fund that he created, it was like a 800% return.
that's
So
crazy.
Moses has
That's
been like a very consistent manager, and he's the top performing. So his latest fund got around 37K in deposits, and he's just started trading it now.
who are the top like if you could pinpoint like the top four performers on your platform, who are leading those funds?
So these one, I think Moses is the first, and another one is Solmo. So he primarily does sports funds, and this one is something where he one second. Yeah, so this one he did of like $1,100 in deposits. He made a profit of 22K, which is
Oh
absolutely
wow.
insane. So this did the job really well, and I think nightly or nightly. So he did a very good job as well for his fund. So I think his best performance one was this one, where the initial balance was $250, and he made like 11K off it.
Wow, that is yeah, like what what is the you're observing like what these managers are trading. What is like is there any kind of advice that you could give? Like what patterns are you realizing when it comes to like their trading and how they're doing things that
Firstly,
that keeps them. Oh yeah, go
sorry, I
ahead.
am
Sorry.
a horrible trader, so I think I would be the last person they would want advice from. But when it comes to selecting these managers, right? Like if you look at Holy Moses, he's very upfront and transparent of what he's going to do with the funds, and also he has and you can just see right from the way he posts and stuff. So proper communication, a lot of upfront details, and he seems like a person who has a lot of integrity from the time that I've known him over the past year. So somebody like him I would definitely bank on.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, like, do you have to worry about? Is there a possibility for scams to happen on Polyfund? Like if you're looking at a kind of like an untrustworthy person who started a fund, I mean, is that a possibility here? Is it like crypto? Because I know,
uh,
like with Down That Fund, going back to that, you might have to watch out for them going into their own meme coin. But I don't know if that's as possible in prediction markets as it was in that environment. So I don't know if it's an issue or not.
I think there could be potential issues. So if it's a manager you do not know or have not known for a while, definitely do not put money. So that's why anytime they deposit, we are very clear into saying ensure you fully trust the vault man or the fund manager before you invest anything. So definitely, I think that's the goal.
And so I'm curious, like what are kind of like the next steps for Polyfund? Like is in terms of what you're building now, without giving too much away. Like, are you thinking about you know adding kind of more fun products in here, or are you thinking about maybe spinning up a terminal?
I think terminal is quite oversaturated at the moment. And also, from what I see, Polymarket has a lot of good features which they will implement. So it's a matter of when they launch advanced order creation tools like TWAP and other things. For us, the focus is how do we make it sort of like Uniswap, or how do we make it sort of like Hyperliquid vaults where there is a TVL concentration on the platform. So you'd have seen Frentech, right?
Mm.
Before. So what were your thoughts on it?
I mean, when I saw Friendtech, I think the idea, I think the go to market was genius. Like I think the idea that you could take an X account and take. I think it was the first time anyone was like, okay, let's take this X account, let's take all these X accounts and tokenize them, basically. That part was really interesting. That was a great go to market at the time. But I knew that it was an unsustainable model when I was looking at it because I was like, there's no actual value being traded here.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you could say that the one bit of value you could get was like, you buy someone's token and you get exclusive access to their chat or something like that.
But Patreon's already
Um,
there for that
yeah,
if you want.
Patreon's already there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But that's, as you pointed out, right? Where does the value accrue? If the shares have to increase in price, there has to be actual revenue happening within the system, which is why
Yeah.
Uniswap pool works really well, right? Because if you think about it, every pool makes money anytime somebody trades with the pool, and you, as the pool holder or the depositor, earn a percentage of the fees, and it is sort of tokenized already. So with Polyfund, the idea is very simple. Let's say a manager is doing extremely well, and they launch a pool which which they can trade on. So first is all of these managers are there that are good at trading. Then the second is fund allocators. So there's a lot of people in the community who know who the good managers are, etc. Right? So we're launching a Polyfund pool where managers can create a pool, others invest into that pool as much money as they want, and then the manager is able to effectively allocate capital from that pool into the funds. So you just set and forget, because the problem with Polyfund right now is every fund is timed. So depositors need to log into the platform, move their money from their old fund into the new fund. So that is one big issue that we're trying to resolve.
Yeah, yeah. And like one way you could do that is you could do it. I'm trying to think if there's a way to do that. I mean, yeah, it'd be hard to kind of align that with the fairness of things. Is that like the major issue there? Or
So when it comes to tokenizing, right? The pool will always be pegged 1:1 unless the manager makes a loss or something. So it
Hmm,
won't be exactly similar to Frentech, where there's a bonding curve and then it goes wild, right? So
yeah,
here I think it'll be more like a Uniswap pool that we are trying to do, rather than like
interesting.
a Frentech sort of a model.
Interesting. That would be really, and then you would just burn the token to basically get the
Yeah,
reward.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
So if you
that would.
launched a John token, then people invest in John and then want to get out, they just burn the John token. That's there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the way to do it, and I think that's the only way to do it. It's just because you're working on kind of like that limited time frame.
Yeah.
So I think having like a redemption model would work well for that. We have one question in here. Let's see. Can you fund your Polyfund account with Apple Pay or PayPal?
So we are integrated with Privy. So I think they do add an option to fund your account with Apple Pay or a card, if I'm not mistaken. But it's very, very crypto. Like most other crypto apps, I think I've also made it very crypto user heavy. So I think I need to look at the fiat side as well.
That's always what we hate dealing with fiat, to be honest. It's it can
I mean,
be
borderless, right? Payments. I think that's what we're building. But yeah.
yeah. So I'm curious, like, could you ever imagine like one of these funds being solely led by AI? How good do you think AI is getting at prediction markets? Do you think it's there yet? Because there's a lot of people that are talking about bots and stuff like that. But do you think it's at the point where you could like actually have an AI led trading fund?
A couple of them started out, but sadly they have died, the projects as of now. So it did good in backtesting simulations and stuff, but when it came to actual money, it was not able to predict things consistently. So we haven't seen much luck, but hopefully as things improve, our platform is there for people to create.
So going back to my other question, I'm curious, like, how do you deal with an inactive trader? Like, if a trader is not, well, I guess there's not an incentive. You know what? Actually, I just thought of something. There might not be an incentive to be an inactive trader on this platform because you only earn fees if you trade, correct?
There is a deposit fee that is there as well, but if you put a high deposit fee and you don't have the followers for it, people are not gonna, invest. So
Yeah,
performance fee is what attracts depositors the most, because if we make money, you make money. We're fine with that. But if you're asking us to pay out of pocket once when we are in, then yeah, hard sell.
do you think that a product like this, Polyfund, is more important for do you think it has more importance and significance in prediction markets than say crypto? Like, we saw like the fund platforms in crypto, and they did people use them. I'm wondering like if there's something about prediction markets that would make a product like this more like even more valuable
I think
to
it's
people.
very inherently social, right? Because with prediction markets, you're betting on your opinion, and with your friends and stuff, you could sort of create different clans. Because I've been a gamer since forever, so I've been building games as well. So I think the clan sort of a system where you're just giving money for your friends to predict things with, and they call you an idiot for a shitty prediction. So I think all of that is very fun place to be, and we're attracting those sort of managers itself, the casual kind rather than the professional ones.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's pretty important because if you think about it, you know, prediction markets are all these short dated. I mean, they're time limited markets, um, and it's just like if I'm retail, I can easily buy a coin and kind of stay in that coin and not monitor it, not watch it, not do anything. With prediction markets, I'm constantly having to monitor it. Even the
Yeah,
long-term positions, like something could happen, something could go wrong. There's an element of monitoring that you have to do, and the loss is like so much greater. It's zero or nothing at
yeah,
resolution time. I mean, you either win or you lose. So like, there's no in between. There's no more or less right. So I think having some sort of product that is a basket of assets, that you can follow and not have to worry about it. You trust the trader to kind of do their thing. Yeah, I see that as highly valuable.
diversification, as you rightly pointed out, diversification, because if you hold stocks, you're diversified as well, right? So as you said, if it's like an index or if it's like a basket of stocks or a basket of predictions, then it makes sense. And if you're the curator of that basket, you should get something, a percentage of the holdings. So they're definitely, I think, like-minded there.
In terms of like regulatory developments, what are you looking out for? What's important for Polyfund?
I think prediction markets itself are trying to figure out where they stand. So any tools built on top of prediction markets, I think we will have to wait and see. Thankfully, the way that we have created everything is on chain. So we as a platform do not have any special power and such with related to funds, right? So wait and watch game primarily. And if you look at Hyperliquid itself, like when they launched, everybody was like, "There's no KYC. It's like a non-KYC Binance." Right, and everybody was like,
Mm.
when is this going to blow up? Regulators are going to come. But right now, after they have established the product market fit, regulators themselves are reaching out. The biggest exchanges, stock exchanges, are reaching out. How do we list our stock with Hyperliquid? So I think it's mostly wait and see and lead with innovation rather than be focused on what is possible right now.
Um, okay, so a while ago we were talking about users having or traders having to kind of select fund managers, and you really have to know you have to trust the person you're following. What do you think the biggest mistake people make generally when assessing when just signal in terms of what a good prediction market trader is. Uh, the biggest biases or mistakes that someone might have, misconceptions they might have about,
I think
a
one
fund
of
manager.
lucky traders, if a trader thinks he's like God sent, where everything that he touches, is going to give insane amount of profits. So rather than just break down and see how the trader explains their thesis before getting into a trade. I've seen a lot of times if one fund is doing extremely well, then people start doubling down, right? Or even five xing or 10xing their initial deposit in the second fund. That doesn't really work out well because you're not sure how the manager deals with different size, right? So somebody who's good with, like, let's say a 5k fund may not necessarily work with a 20 or 25k fund, and also the stakes are bigger. So definitely get to know the trader a little bit more, ask them to share their thesis, how they do position sizing, how do they do risk management, all of that, and only then choose whether you want to deposit or not, rather than just looking at their returns and putting in money blindly.
Yeah, I still remember this fact that completely blew me away from a conversation I was having with the CEO of Predixon, who said most of the whales, most of the top traders in Polymarket, and maybe you can verify this, came like the Trump election kind of made them the whales that they are today. So it was really that one major liquidity event that kind of created all of these huge traders on Polymarket. Um, I think if you were follow, I think if that's true, if you're following traders based off of like superficial, like, oh yeah, look at the high returns they made this one time, or whatever. Like, you don't know, right? So you don't know how good they are at trading consistently.
Exactly. And if you look at the win rates as well, right? For the good traders, it's mostly around 65 or 70%. And that is only possible if you're not fully leveraged or like dependent on one position to work out. Because if you keep full porting or going, all in on one thing, it's not going to work out. Like your bankroll is not going to last. So I think sizing is a very, very important part of what makes a good trader from what I have seen.
So going in with size basically is a good signal
Yeah.
but like size and consistently not losing basically.
Exactly. Like be above 60, 70% or even 50%, and you'll consistently make money. And then, yeah, I think that's what good traders on Polymarket have done from what I see.
So we have another question from Peter Hans. How does Polyfund as a provider make money to sustain operations?
So by investing in good managers that we spot, because we're there in the driving seat, right? We see managers, we interact with them. So I know that is not very sustainable, but we plan to make a percentage of the profits the manager makes in the long term. But right now, it's all about seeing whether this platform will grow. We will be able to attract not just the Polymarket traders, but even traders outside, because they're selling their monthly subscription for $500 to $600 a month, like Patreon, right? So rather than doing the
Yeah.
whole subscription business and asking your followers to go and on a site and place your predictions, why not just ask them to park their money with you, because they already trust your picks, right? So just create a fund, and they don't need to be crypto native. So that's the main focus. Get that audience and then focus on the revenue part.
Do you see for the business that you're doing, which is following traders, getting exposure to high level traders? There's a number of ways to do that. We talked about the copy trading bots. We talked about, you just mentioned the Patreon kind of alert signal chats, and then you have what you're building, which is the vault based kind of funds. Do you think that in the long term, like the alert based signals would be more of a threat to what you're doing than the copy trading bots?
I think alert based triggers should flow into their polyfunds directly. So take all
Hmm.
of the money and set up different rule based triggers. So the money, because we as a platform work on getting capital first, right? And the actual execution can be AI, it can be rule based, it can be a person doing it as well. So we want more and more people to do that, definitely.
Yeah, no, I just think your point about the like copy trading, like non-aligned copy trading was a really good point. I mean, the
Yep.
fact that you know you're not getting in at the right time, the trader that you're following could, F you over, right? I
Yeah.
mean, it's totally within their incentive to do so. I think people do like it because it's easy, but at the same time, like, you know, personally, I think that the model you're working on is very good. I think it's a very clever model. Um, and I think I would do that. If I were following a trader, I would either do that or I would do it like an alert chat. If I trusted the
Yeah.
trader enough, I'd have to trust the trader.
But I like copy trading as well. It's so simple, right? Like you just put a profile in and then you're following all of their trades. So I think that definitely works. But over the long term, if you look at Patreon, if you look at all of the other creator platforms that are out there, it has to work for all stakeholders. So that's what we hope to reach.
Okay, so I have a couple kind of just uh, founder questions and some general prediction market questions. Have you guys raised yet, or are you working on a raise right now? Is that in the future?
So we've gotten a few offers, but we are not raising at the moment because I've already raised a bunch of money for the past two ventures that I've been part of, and I think raising money is a commitment that you make to yourself and the investors, right? That the next few years I'm going to be working on solving this problem fully. I think we are at the stage where we are still figuring it out how we can scale this. So we've had to say no to the initial fundraising discussions and the reach outs that were happening. So we want to prove a point first. This works, and we are making good amount of money, and only then accept external capital.
Yeah, that's such a great point. Like people rush to raise, but once you raise, you're locked in, and there's liability, which people don't even think about. I don't think.
Social liability, financial liability, everything, right? Because you're going full in. Right now, I'm the only person. I've been bootstrapping this fully, and I can be flexible as well. The product I want to push out, because once you get external people in, you're in this constant hurry to scale up because it becomes a venture scale business rather than like a hobby that it is a passion project. I think more like for me.
So just like your general take on prediction markets, like other products that are being built right now, what is a consensus narrative right now in prediction markets that you think is wrong? Or what's something that everyone is saying? That's kind of a weird question. I'm open to whatever, but like what is something that everyone's saying right now that you have serious doubts about? I have a few, but I'm curious to hear yours.
Please, you first. I would love to hear your opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, okay, there's a lot of people right now saying that. I had this discussion the other day. There's a lot of people right now saying that in order to be like a good prediction market trader, and I've seen this on both sides, by the way, in order to be a good prediction market trader, you have to have a supremely high IQ. I've seen prediction market traders say that. I've seen them say you have to have a high IQ, some of them. And then I've also seen the people attacking prediction markets say that you have to have a high IQ and that's why you shouldn't do it because you're just going to get robbed. I think that's completely false. I think it's just a new asset class that is forming that people are getting used to.
I think it's
So
like
so
chess. It's like chess all over, right? Like you need to be like exceptionally high IQ if you want to be a good chess player.
yeah, yeah, and to some extent that's true for regular trading too. Like you need
Yeah.
to you need to have like a high IQ, but the argument that's being made is no, you will absolutely lose in prediction markets if you're not clever enough or smart enough. You're just liquidity. Which and then people look at stocks and they're like, oh well, you can still like occasionally you can still bet on GameStop and it's going to go up, and then the average Joe is going to get rich. So I don't know.
But it's
That's
also
that's
luck, right? Luck versus thesis. Like how much percentage of your wins were actual luck based?
right. How many luck opportunities are there? Um,
Exactly. And
but I
thesis, I
think,
think, matters quite a lot.
yeah, thesis does matter. Um, and long-term plays matter. A lot of retail, I think, like just people who don't focus on it too much, I think they make money off of the long-term positions that they might have, and like a
Yeah.
stock or an equity. So, you might like people might call them bag holders, but over time they make money. Um, and I think it's possible. I think the criticism is it's not possible to do that in prediction markets. I think that's a wrong assumption. That's my take. But
You could, I completely agree with you, and you could as well, right? Like if you're hoping for something long term, I think good confidence, proper thesis as well, whether it be for venture capital investments, your crypto investments, you must have belief in basically what is going to happen. And with prediction markets, since it's very opinion based, I think that goes a long way than having conviction on, let's say, a stock itself.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree with that. So my last question to you is if someone wants to get involved in Polyfund, can they like someone wants to get set up as a manager, can they contact you or how, what's the best way to go about it?
If you go to polyfund.so, which is the main site, you'll see a Discord button right at the top. So that is our community. I respond to messages within seconds or minutes of you posting there. So I'm always there in case you need anything that's there, any help, or if there's a bug that you've identified, I'll try to solve it ASAP. So Discord is the best place, or just shoot me a DM as well on Polyfund or on my personal X account.
Ashish, thanks so much for coming on, man. I really appreciate it. I've been a big fan of what you guys are building for a while. And yeah, I think it's a product that is going to keep growing. Like I think it's just, I think index kind of like funds, passive ways to invest in prediction markets, I think are just a huge opportunity. So I'm really bullish on this product.
Thank you so much, John. I love the work you're doing with Polyfactual as well. I love the podcast. I love the guests that you bring on board. And yeah, keep doing the exciting work.
Yeah, yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, yeah, and you're welcome back anytime, by the way. So let's definitely do this again.
Perfect. Thank you so much and have a lovely weekend.
Talk to you later.
See you. Bye.